Good morning, afternoon or evening, ladies and gents. And A25 is out, and A25 comes with a new set of biomes for mainland, and I will be looking at the small version of mainland, and I will be looking at how the new biomes will look like. I will set the map up with 2 players, and now I will generate the map and I will analyze them, and I will give my opinion on how much they look like the maps on A24. And here we have the first biome, which is Aegean-Anatolian, and if you compare this to a classic A24 biome, we see that there are large clumps of trees, and that's one of the changes that has been made. We also see some small metal mines scattered around here, and some metal mines scattered around here. These stones are unclickable. We see some deer here, and we see another group of 7 deer here, a group of 2 sheep, and again a group of 7 deer. And 7 deer is not small for a group. But these are 6, by the way. These are also 6, and these are also 6. Then I guess this is just the exception. And again we have a group of 6 deer, as I see it correctly here. Or just 4, because okay, this is a group of 4, and then this metal mine gives an extra dot. Oh, no, at least 5. But we have a metal mine, and that makes metal more prevalent than on A24 maps. We see that stone is more rare on A25. So if you are slinger civilization in A24, the situation could arise that the map would run out of wood, and that slinger civilizations would still have enough wood to train some slingers, and there would be a surplus of stone, which means that producing slingers would in those cases be easier than producing javelineers or archers. And on A25 that's not something which will happen as frequently. Now that's it for this biome, and now we'll go to the next biome. So the next biome will be Subalpine, and we will see what the map looks like in a second. And there we go, and we see that it has some grasses here, nothing which is overly big or annoying. We see that this is a huge clump of trees. Similar is this clump of trees is rather large. One noticeable difference is that this clump of trees has 200 wood per tree, and these clumps of trees also have 200, and the small ones are the ones with 50. Those smaller ones aren't so common, but you need to take into account that the smaller ones do exist there, and if you would place your storehouses in the wrong positions, you might place them to the low trees, so you need to be careful with that. And if we look to the mineral distribution, we see a lot of oranges on the minimap, and those are metal mines, and we see that there are a lot more metal spots than there used to be in A24. The amount of stone spots has been reduced, and most of them seem to be small ones. and we've got a big pile of stone mineral here. We see that most huntables are goats on this map, and here we see another bunch of goats, and we see a small group of deer. And for hunting, it is easier to hunt deer than goats. Deers are units that can be lured towards your CC if you attack them, so that can be useful if the deer is close to your CC. Oh, yeah, indeed, your CC. However, that's it for this biome, and I think this is a fairly good biome, just like the previous one. And now we will go to the next biome and see if that's also a nice one. I think it's a pity that the previous one has a few deer and is so goat reliant. So that would put Aegean and Anatolian to be more favorite for me than the Subalpine was. And now we go to Artic. And Artic is a new biome, and I'm curious to see what it looks like. There it is. It is a snowy map, as you can imagine, and it has these berry bushes, which don't look that pretty, honestly, but we will ignore that. One thing which is very mention-worthy on this map is that there are these small trees of 50 wood here, and those can interfere with your farm placement, so you need to clear those trees out from around your CC. We see that these small trees also appear randomly a little bit, which can be annoying if you want to place buildings. However, there aren't a lot of these eye candy types of the ice candy types of bushes, and that's something which I like. We see a group of deers here. It's a small group. There are some goats and more goats, and it's a map with goats and deer, as it seems. You see also on the mini-map that there are several small metal mines, and some big stone mines are there as well. So, well, and when it comes to the clumps of trees, they are not fairly big, so it's also a decent biome. I'm not a big fan of snow maps. It doesn't look really natural to have a farm just in the middle of the snow. That's just personal taste. It's a fairly decent biome. However, you need to clear out these small trees before you can really start effectively farming. And we will move to the next biome. And the next biome is Rhine Valley. And you'll generate a map, and Rhine Valley is also a new biome, and you'll see how it looks like. Okay, it also looks pretty nice, not too much of those annoying eye candy grasses. Chunks of trees are again fairly large, and just no more berries, which looks fine to me. And we will see again a good amount of metal and some stones in between. I don't think this map has especially few stones. I think it is just that the random map generation created a few stones. When it comes to huntables, again we see some groups of deer, and we see more deer. More deer. Are there any goats? There are some goats. Those are sheep on this map, and that's swine as well. So overall, this is a fine map, and nothing particular to notice about it, except that it seems that the clumps of trees are a little bit bigger than on the other maps, and that's something which I think is a pity, because it means that you only need one clump of tree for a healthy game, and that doesn't make it overly exciting or tactical. So the size of the clumps of trees is a little bit too big for my taste, but it's not a bad map. Now we will go to the next biome. The next biome is India, and India is indeed a new biome, and whether India is popular or not, there is a lot to say about that, and it will be generated shortly. And there it is. It has these trees, and some of them are these trees of 600 wood. What I dislike about them is that they have so many leaves that it makes it really hard to see which tree you are chopping, and there is also a lot of this eye candy grass. So can you spot the chickens? Yes, we spotted chickens here, and here are also some chickens. If they are within the grass, they are more difficult to spot. India also has these small trees right here in the space where you would normally want to farm, which is also somewhat annoying, as you need to free that space first. And we will look at the wildlife, and we see that there are some elephants, and I really dislike having elephants in a competitive map. It means that, for example, the red player who has several elephants near him, which blue player also has, and there are some peacocks. It means that the player that can find most animals has a big advantage, and I'm not really a fan of that. And they are 650 foot each. You can attack them with one of your units and they will follow you, and that means you will get, in this case, nearly 2k of food just walking to your CC once you attack them, and I do not think that's really good for competitive balance. The clumps of trees are also large, and because of all the leaves that are on them, they are also messy. And when it comes to the fruit trees, they aren't really distinguishable enough to be fruit trees. For my taste, you can still notice it are fruit trees because it has some of these orange fruits here, some date fruits. But still, I'm not a big fan of this biome, and especially these small trees that are posted everywhere are so annoying. For example, if you want to place a barracks, okay, well that's something which is currently fairly easy, but if you want to place it here, well, and you see it won't work. And once you start filling up the area, yeah, you will see that there might be some free space, and you have to place a building there, and then you will get such an annoying little tree in the way, and you can't build it there, and that can result in you searching for some space to place a barrack. And now I don't play 080 to be looking at where can I build my barrack and where is there a little space free, so that's annoying in my view. Just as most A25 maps we see some minerals distributed. There is some stone and some metals here. Well, it's very much for this map. And now we'll go to the next biome. India is, I think, a bad biome for competitive play. It looks nice, but well, to play on it is not really so much fun in a competitive scene. So you'll go to Nubia, and you see how much fun Nubia is. It's also a new biome for A25, if I am correct. And Nubia does have some eye candy. However, it also has also a lot of spaces where there is just clear vision. And these things don't block any buildings, so that's fine as well. It does have these date palm trees, and I'm not a big fan of them, but they aren't super hinderful. And clusters of trees are really smaller on Nubia, so that's an advantage. But it does seem to be the cause is that those date palm trees are fairly evenly or fairly are not overly common. I think this is just random map generation that places a lot of these date palm trees right here near this player, but on the rest of the map it's not so common. So I will just say it's because of random map generation. And we see that there are not a lot of those small trees, and I think it's a fine biome overall. We see that there is some metal generation and also some stone generation. The center is fairly empty, but we just say that that's because of the random map generation. This is not the best generation of map, but I think it's just bad luck out of randomness. When it comes to huntables, we see some wildebeest, and I will check what those wildebeest are doing, if they can also be lured towards the CC. And if that's also a possibility. Okay, and there we've got the wildebeest. Indeed, they run away as they would. They do have more HP, so you can lure them further. So that's the wildebeest. There are some gazelles here, which is just a rename of the deer. Now that's it for the wildlife. And I think it's time to go to the next biome. So Nubia is also a decent map. The fact that you can lure those wildebeest so conveniently makes it a cavalry friendly map, and also the small woodlands make it a little bit cavalry friendly, because it means that the infantry will be more spread out between different woodlines. We will not go multiplayer, but we will go to the next biome, which is Sahara. And Sahara is also a new A25 biome, and it replaces the desert biome, if I'm correct. And again, it has those date palm trees. It doesn't have too much of those eye candy grasses, and these trees are not choppable, so they also don't interfere with farms. so that's very good. The clumps of trees are smaller on this biome, although this is still a very big clump of trees. This one is too. So it's not overly small, but it's not overly big, as we have seen on, for example, the Rhine Valley biome. This is one of the bigger clumps. Even if you look at the minimap, it seems to be the case. This is a combination of date palm trees and normal trees, so that reduces the amount of wood which is in there. And yeah, I think it has more wood than Nubia, but it's not overly tough, and it's not few either, so that's all good. When it comes to the huntables, we see that there are camels out, and there seem to be only camels, not only camels, and the mineral distribution is like all the other biomes, with some metal in between and some stones. So that is it for this biome, and now we will go to the next one. And the next biome will be Sudenian Savanne, which will be another desert-like biome with lots of sands and few grasses, and we will see if that's a better biome, and if it also has elephants. And indeed, we see some of the grasses, and I'm not a big fan of the grasses. For example, indeed, it makes it difficult to spot the berries. You can always look at the minimap, which I always do to check where are my berries, because indeed it can be difficult to find. And well, this is the jackpot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Are there 8 elephants? Only 7. Now, for competitive play, having 7 elephants just sitting outside your CC, and here another 5, is really bad. So that's 12 times 650, or 800 in this case. So that's nearly 1,000 food. 1,000 food. How much inventory can we make out of that? I mean, it's nearly 10,000 food. So we can make nearly 200 inventory just from these elephants. So, well, you hardly need to farm in this biome if you are this lucky. And the player that is here will have to farm more, and I think that's really a bad example. And now it's also some mineral distribution, which is pretty standard for what we've seen in the other A25 biomes. The clumps of trees are also fairly big, and you want to, and we see also that there are some 400 wood trees among them, and also some bigger 600 wood trees. And yeah, so that's it for this biome. I would say for competitive play it's not really a good biome. For example, the blue player has 10,000 food just sitting here, and yeah, that's enough for 200 infantry. So you hardly need to farm if you are in such a position, and I think that's a bad thing. So, and there are also a lot of annoying trees right here over all the map, and that could sometimes make it difficult to find a place to build your barracks. So I'm not a fan of this biome, and we'll quickly get to another. We will go to the next biome, and the next biome is Eurasian Steppe, and we will see what it looks like. And Eurasian Steppe is also one of the new biomes in A25, and yeah, here it is, Eurasian Steppes. Eurasian Steppe is a nasty map. The trees are very small, and these are not trees. I need to see the chickens, and these are also not trees, but these are, and these green things are also trees, and this is also a tree. And we can place a storehouse. Okay, and we also have 200 to select barracks, and we can place barracks over this. But we cannot place a barrack over here, and it's really difficult to see what the difference is. And these also sometimes look like there are just grasses you can hover over, but they aren't always grasses you can hover over, and sometimes these are trees, and sometimes they are not, so that's really annoying. And there are some horses, and they are nice, and this map has only horses as huntables. The mineral distribution is fairly normal for an A25 map, and yeah, so that's it. And yeah, we will see if it's also good. So what this biome has is that the trees are more farther away from the CC than normal biomes have. For this player it is relatively good. For this player it's not bad either. And to ask some examples where you can really have bad map generation, and you can have really bad wood lines on this biome. So that makes that I'm not really a fan of this biome, and these trees, no, it doesn't look really nice. So I'm not a fan of it. It's, yeah, the map generation can be bad, and yeah, I wouldn't say it is the worst, but I don't like it either. So we'll go to the next biome, and we will see what that has in store for us. So the final biome is Temperate. And Temperate is a biome which was very popular in A24, and let's see what they have done with the Temperate biome in A25. And the Temperate biome in A25 has bigger amounts of wood, and that makes it so that you can last half the game with one clump of trees. And I like it from a I dislike that from a strategy perspective. Yeah. What can we see about what can we say about the huntables? We see deer and sheep, and maybe there are also some goats, or just deer and sheep. It seems to be just a deer and sheep. There is again some metal and stone distribution for this biome, and that's the final biome which we have discussed, and I would like to end it with that. And well, I hope you've also you will also like this video, and I hope you also can tell me which biome you like most and what you do think of the new biomes and of the features such as the larger clumps of trees and the amount of metal and stone that's available. I think there is a little bit too few stone available for Slinger civilizations such as the Athenians. And I think Sahara and Nubia were not so bad, although one of them had elephants, and India was also not really a fan of mine. Rhine Valey, I felt like those were a little bit too big, so my favorite would be Subalpine, which also has a little bit more deer, and I believe Nubia was also fine, and Sahara has those elephants, which makes it a little bit random. So I would go for either Nubia or Subalpine, and let me know what your favorite map is, and see you in the next video. Bye.